Hello, thank you for watching this short video. The theme is quite challenging. Would Jesus ask us to stop taking our medication? And I'm guided to do this short video in response to a program I watched on the news late last night following our vigil on live stream, where a group of born-again Christians who had set up a healing sanctuary to heal God's children who were HIV positive. And in watching the documentary, I was quite disturbed on many levels because they were recording every event of what they were doing. And there was a lot of hysteria. And yes, they were invoking Christ to heal the individuals. But then they were telling them afterwards that they had been healed by Jesus of the HIV disease and that they were to immediately stop taking their medication. Now, I come to this short video as a former nurse of 38 years, and the latter 12 of those years was in caring for the dying, as well as setting up a hospice for women and children affected by AIDS, which was supported by the late Princess Diana of Wales. And having done my HIV/AIDS training course in Manchester in '95, I realized the importance as a Christian, because I am a Catholic Christian, independent Franciscan who lives the contemplative life. But I come to this trying to use the mindset of Christ and what he would say to us. And I do believe in the power of prayer. Prayer is an efficacious tool for us to witness the miracles of God. But as a therapist and as an enclosed monk, I would never dream of saying to a client when I had prayed over them, even though I had taken Jesus at his word and said, Jesus, I place my hands on this individual, a child of God who is wounded, who is hurting. I ask you to honor your word and heal them, because you said, whatever you ask in my name, I will do for you. I've never ever doubted that. The clients who have come to see me over the years, many have never returned. Initially, I thought it was me. My ego kicked in and it fed my low self-worth and low self-esteem. But then I realized in humility that Jesus had touched them. And when we would anoint their feet with the healing oils of the spikenard, impregnated with the Christ Magdalena energy, they were taken to another dimension where they came into the presence of God. And even though they were touched on many levels by God, through these simple, humble hands, I am not a healer. God is the healer. And I know from my years of experience as a nurse practitioner that I would never ever endorse, that is my philosophy, that I would never ever say to a client, now that Jesus has healed you, because he did say, what you ask in my name I will do for you, and then say to them, now come off all your medication. Because I truly believe that that's not what Jesus would do. Why would I say that? And I know what I'm sharing with you may upset some of you who are watching, who come from that fraternity of taking Christ at his word, which I do. But if Jesus did not want us to take medication, then I follow the school of thought that says, then why would have he train doctors and nurses and practitioners in the field of medicine and nursing and holism? I think we have to be very, very, very careful. And I feel that in my heart, we have to remove the emotionalism and come to this with a clear mind and a clear heart. A heart that is fed on prayer, fasting, and not attentive seeking or looking for emotionalism or responses. So in watching that video, a client came with HIV disease, and we watched the undercover reporter ask questions, and it said that they will be healed of their disease and that they should stop all their medication for the HIV disease. And 6 clients died as a result of that inappropriate advice. 6 clients died this year, and many more are seriously ill as a result of well-meaning Christians. And I know their intentions are honorable, but it's questionable. And I believe that Christ the healer does touch us. And yes, I know that people are miraculously healed. I do not dispute that. But I know from my own experience as a nursing monk and as a trained nurse that God, through Christ, works with the fraternity of doctors and nurses and holistic therapists. And he touches people's lives on many levels. It could be a spiritual healing rather than a physical healing. But he would never ever say, and he's never said to me, to tell my clients, to tell them to cease taking their medication. And that resonates with my heart as one in divine service. But each one to their own. But I do believe that in the healing ministry today, there are well-meaning souls, but there are a lot of false prophets who say one thing and do the exact opposite in their private life. They don't walk the talk, they talk the walk. To be an effective conduit, facilitator for Christ and God to touch people's lives, we have to be willing to be such a vehicle. And to be an effective tool, it is my understanding that we have to walk the talk. In other words, be a people of prayer, be a people of penance, be a people who put their prayer life before anything. And when they call on Christ, as I do each day, then we know that Christ will touch them. It may not be there and then. It may be in a week, a month, or a year, and it may never be. But they will be blessed. But it's my honest, humble opinion, and I come to you from my heart, that Jesus would never endorse such a false teaching as to tell clients to cease taking their medication for a life-threatening disease. So I ask your prayer. I ask for your understanding and your tolerance here. And if you are involved in such a ministry, I ask you to have a spiritual director who will guide you wisely and sensibly in discerning what God is saying to your heart. Thank you.